Scene script. Have you ever wondered about the lost city of Atlantis? The mythical city that supposedly sank into the sea? This tantalizing tale has sparked the imagination of many, from ancient philosophers to modern-day explorers. Today we're diving into the depths of this enigma, the legendary Atlantis. Let's start at the beginning. Atlantis was first mentioned by the ancient philosopher Plato in two of his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato, Atlantis was not just a city, but a mighty naval power that held sway over the western parts of the known world. Imagine that, a city so powerful it was considered an empire unto itself. Now, every great story has a twist, and Atlantis is no exception. As Plato tells it, this island empire fell out of favor with the deities. But what could cause such a downfall? What could possibly provoke the ire of the gods so much they would sink an entire city into the sea? It's a question that has puzzled scholars and history buffs for centuries. In the heart of Atlantis, according to Plato's accounts, was a mountain where Poseidon, the god of the sea, fell in love with a mortal woman named Cleito. Their descendants went on to rule Atlantis, forging a city of splendor with bridges, canals, and walls made of different types of rock. Could it be that the Atlanteans' hubris, their pride and ambition, led to their downfall? Or was there something more at play? As the tale goes, Atlantis, once the jewel of the ancient world, sank into the Atlantic Ocean. But why? To uncover the truth, we need to plunge deeper into its history. So, stick around as we navigate the murky waters of the past and unravel the mystery of Atlantis. So, how did Atlantis rise to power, you might ask? Well, let's dive into this mythical tale. It all began with a love story. Not just any love story, mind you, but a romance between a deity and a mortal. Poseidon, the god of the sea, fell head over heels in love with a woman named Cleito. Their love was so powerful it birthed an entire lineage of rulers for Atlantis. It was their descendants who sat on the throne and guided Atlantis to its zenith. But Atlantis wasn't just about its rulers. It was a marvel of architecture and engineering. Imagine a city with bridges connecting every corner, canals flowing like veins, pulsating with the lifeblood of the city. The city was encased by walls, not just any walls, but walls made of different types of rock. Each rock type added a unique character to the city, making it a kaleidoscope of colors and textures. It was a sight to behold, a testament to Atlantean ingenuity. Now you might be thinking, was it merely a city or a power to be reckoned with? Well, let me tell you, Atlantis was no ordinary city. It was an empire, a naval powerhouse that ruled over the western parts of the known world. The Atlanteans didn't just build a city, they built a civilization that was a beacon of power and prosperity. But here's the thing about power. It's intoxicating, it's seductive, and it always attracts attention. Atlantis was no different. Its rise to power was not without its challenges. It had its share of friends, yes, but also a fair number of enemies, because, let's face it, when you're at the top, there's always someone waiting to knock you down. The Atlanteans didn't just build a city, they built an empire, but every empire has its enemies, doesn't it? What could possibly lead to the downfall of such a mighty empire, you may ask? Well, let's dive into it. The great Atlantis, a naval powerhouse, held sway over the western parts of the known world. But even the mightiest of empires can falter, and so did Atlantis. The beginning of the end was marked by a war so colossal it echoed through the annals of history. This was not just any war, but one fought between Atlantis and those who resided outside the Pillars of Hercules. Now consider this. Could this war have been the catalyst for Atlantis's downfall? It's plausible, isn't it? After all, wars have often led to the fall of many great civilizations throughout history. They drain resources, they decimate populations, they disrupt the very fabric of society. Could the same have happened to Atlantis? Could this war have exhausted its might, leaving it vulnerable and weak? But here's the thing, it wasn't just the war that led to the downfall of Atlantis. The deities, it seems, had turned their backs on this once favored island. Was it hubris that led Atlantis to fall out of favor with the gods? Or was it something else? We may never know. But what we do know is that the deities' displeasure was the final nail in the coffin for Atlantis. And then came the event that sealed its fate. Atlantis, the grand island empire, sank into the Atlantic Ocean. Its grandeur, its might, its tales, all submerged beneath the waves, lost to the world. The city with its bridges, canals, and walls made of different types of rock, the descendants of Poseidon and Cleito, who ruled it, all vanished without a trace. Despite its might and grandeur, Atlantis was not invincible. It eventually sank into the sea, taking its secrets with it. The fall of Atlantis serves as a stark reminder that even the greatest of empires can fall, their glory becoming nothing more than echoes in the depths of time. But why does the story of Atlantis continue to captivate us centuries after it was first told? That's the million-dollar question. The tale of this ancient, lost civilization has permeated our culture in more ways than one. It's not just a story, it's an enduring narrative that has shaped the way we perceive history and mythology. Consider the impact on literature. The tale of Atlantis has influenced countless authors, inspiring them to create their own worlds, their own lost civilizations. From Jules Verne to DC Comics, the allure of Atlantis is undeniable. We see it echoed in tales of utopias lost and dystopias survived. The story of Atlantis serves as a blueprint, a cautionary tale of a civilization that reached the pinnacle of power, only to lose it all. Its interpretation as an allegory is also profound. Atlantis is often seen as a metaphor for civilizations that become too self-absorbed and power-hungry, eventually leading to their downfall. It's a warning about the dangers of hubris and the consequences of unchecked ambition. Isn't it fascinating how a tale from an ancient Greek philosopher still resonates with us today? Now, let's pose a question here. What can we learn from the story of Atlantis today? It's more than just a bedtime story or a plot for a blockbuster movie. It's a reminder of the cyclical nature of history, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the importance of humility. It teaches us about the fragility of power and the importance of wisdom over might. It's a reflection on human nature and the potential consequences of our actions. So, whether you believe in the existence of Atlantis or not, its influence is undeniable. It's a story that has transcended time and culture and has become a part of our collective consciousness. Atlantis, real or not, has left an indelible mark on human culture and imagination. Its legacy continues to captivate us, reminding us of the power of stories and their ability to shape our understanding of the world around us. So, was Atlantis real or just a figment of Plato's imagination? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You see, there are as many theories and opinions about Atlantis as there are grains of sand on the beach. Some scholars argue that Atlantis was entirely fictional, a product of Plato's creative genius. They say it was an allegory, a cautionary tale about pride and hubris and the downfall that inevitably follows. But then, there are others who believe that there's more to Atlantis than just a story. They argue that it was a real place, a naval empire that once ruled the western parts of the known world. They point to Plato's detailed descriptions of the city, its geography, its structures, even its socio-political systems. They ask, could Plato have invented all these intricate details, or was he describing a place he had heard of, a place that once existed? There are also theories suggesting possible inspirations for Atlantis. Some say it was inspired by ancient civilizations like the Minoans on the island of Crete. Their advanced culture, their naval prowess, and the cataclysmic eruption that led to their downfall bear striking similarities to the story of Atlantis. Others look to the ancient city of Tartessos in Spain, known for its wealth and its sudden disappearance, as another possible source of inspiration. But for every theory, there's a counter-theory, a controversy. For every scholar who believes in the existence of Atlantis, there's another who dismisses it as a myth. The existence of Atlantis has become one of the most debated topics in history, a controversy that spans centuries. Whether you believe in the existence of Atlantis or not, the story of this lost city continues to intrigue and inspire us. After all, who doesn't love a good mystery?